So now you've practiced your pentagrams and can visualize them exceptionally well, like you never thought you could. It takes time. So if you can't do that, just persist with it. One of the most limiting beliefs I come across from people is they say, I'm just not a very visual person. I'm not very good at visualizing. Practice. It's that simple. There is nothing more to it than that. There's a very, very rare condition that's neurological that people can't visualize. You're not going to be one of those people. I can be certain of it. It just comes down to practice and practice and practice. Now what we're going to do is start adding in additional components to the pentagram practice. So we've got the foot position of the left foot coming into the right heel, and we have a fairly relaxed pose as we do the pentagram, like so. Now what we're going to do is do a strange gesture. We're going to start off with our hands down by our sides. We're going to bring our arms up, like so, up to the head, like you're going to be a vampire in a pantomime or something, okay? So, comes up like so. Take a breath in, like so. And now you're going to throw your hands forward as that left foot that's in the instep there also comes forward in a gesture, and you're going to lean forward like so. And with that gesture comes a rapid exhalation. So I just step back a little bit so it doesn't go weird on the camera here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my pentagram like so. And having drawn that, I now, and then breath in as far as I can go. Okay, that's it. That's all you're going to do. Now you're going to add that gesture to every one of the pentagrams before coming back and do the Kabbalistic cross. So let me just demonstrate what this now looks like. We have Ateh, Malkuth, ve-Geburah, ve-Gedulah, le-Olahm, Amen. Okay, so that's now pretty much what it looks like. Do that to each of the quarters. So again, if I repeat it to here. Breathe out. I'll do that again. But I'll come back here so you can see it from a side view. Simple, right? So you're going to do that to each of the quarters. Now, you're still going to be visualizing all of the things that you've visualized before. Now, with this breath, the breath in and the breath out, I want you to imagine the force of your breath extending out across the universe. Basically, you are breathing an energy of force across time and space. Easy visualization. That's what I want you to be imagining or pretending to be visualizing, if nothing else, to each of the quarters. And now what we're also going to do is to start to add in an intonation. Now this is where an error has crept into so much basic magical practice. And I'll explain it first. We're going to do the convention. We'll do what pretty much everyone else appears to be doing. Certainly in my experience of different magical groups and magical lodges. And then we'll do actually the way we're supposed to do it. Which would be this. So we draw a pentagram like so. And then we come up with the gesture. And then we come into our posture. And then we intone the God name associated with that elemental quarter. I haven't really explained the elemental quarters yet, but I'll get to it. So instead of just being a what we'll have is the intonation of the God name. So to the east is going to be Yehovah or YHVH. This is the tetragrammaton. YHVH, the tetragrammaton, is the big one, the biggest God. The God of that basically everything there is and can be. All the other God names are aspects of that. That makes sense. Now, some people would say, which is my preferred way of doing it, they say Yod, Hey, Val, Hey in an intoned way. Some people say Yehovah or Yohovo, I've heard as well. And some people, I can't do this. There's a very melodic tone. It's almost like a wail that would echo across the desert, if you would imagine that kind of scene where there's a very high-pitched melodic. I can't do it. If I can find a recording of it, I will stick it on this program so someone you can hear what it sounds like. I've seen that practiced as well. They're all wrong actually, but we'll get to that in a second. So what we're going to have is to the east, it's Yod Hey Val Hey, or Yehovah, or Yahweh. You say it how you want to say it. Don't listen to the others. You say it how you want to say it. It's basically, if there were a sound that for you represented God, as in the biggest aspect of the divine, that's the sound. For convention, we're going to stick with our mangled Hebrew. So that's to the east. To the south, it's Adonai. Adonai. Now, Adonai is what the Jewish people or the Hebrew speakers will say in place of God. Adonai basically means the Lord. It is the acceptable name of God without accidentally pronouncing the genuine name of God. Because apparently, if you pronounce the name of God correctly, there's nothing left to achieve. We know God because we know his name. Therefore, the universe ends. It would be a bit of a mishap if that happened. Anyway, to the south, it's Adonai. Adonai. Now, it could be like this. Adonai. You do it however you do it. Unless you're part of a magical lodge, then you have to do it the way everyone else does it. So, it would look like this. Adonai. And as we say the words, it rushes forth across the universe. Now, when you then come back to the neutral, you put your hand on your lips in the sound of silence. I'll explain these gestures later on. So it's hands up, throw them forward as you roar forth your intonations, and then you come back, and then you carry on. Yod Hey Val Hey, Yehovah Yahweh, Adonai. To the west is an unusual word. It's EHEIEH, EHEIEH, EHEIEH. EHEIEH basically means I am that I am, or I am. This is pretty much what God said to Moses apparently when he, burning bush, Moses says, who are you then? I am that I am. Yeah. So again, what this would look like is we would draw the Banishing pentagram, like so. Gesture, so now we breath in, and then throw ourselves forward, and then you come back to the sound of silence. Yod Hey Val Hey to the east, Adonai to the south, EHEIEH to the west. To the north, it's AGLA, AGLA, AGLA. Now this is an acronym. This comes from a Kabbalistic practice of taking the first letter of words to create a new word. And that new word basically symbolizes what that whole sentence means. This is AGLA. We'll explain more as we go later on. Again, so I'm going to draw the Banishing pentagram. Gesture, hands up. Then I'm going to throw them forward as my left foot steps forward. And it will be AGLA. I could just say it. Or I could imagine that sound going across the universe in that quarter. That's the visualization that we're after here. And then what I'll do is I'll come back to the east and then close with the Kabbalistic cross. So now it's exactly the same as we were doing before, we just have some additional components put in. So our visualizations now are getting quite complicated. We start off with the light, Geburah, Hesed, Keter, Malkuth. So we have the tree of life building up in the spheres of the body. We have pentagrams. They stay there all the time. So once we've done one, keep visualizing it because you now add another one in. And also the sound of our intonations roaring forth across the universe. Good luck with that one. It's going to take a bit of practice. Now, for those of you who live in a small apartment or you've got other people in the house that will think you've lost it, you may just want to do this silently, but still imagine the sound roaring forth across, even if you can't actually make the noise out loud. I emphasize the point, I do recommend you learn to do the intonations if you can, because there's additional benefits that come from that, which again, I'll be explaining as we go. We've got more bits to build in yet. So good luck with this one. Start practicing those components. Just once won't be enough. You've got to keep doing this until it feels normal. You're doing something really abnormal, and it needs to keep going until you feel really normal. I can remember the first time I had to do this in front of other people. This was part of an order where I was basically required to lead the ritual. My turn was coming. And I knew that on this particular day, it was going to be my turn to lead, and I would have to open with this. I'd never done this in front of other people before. Driving there, I was incredibly anxious because I thought, this is so weird. I don't do this sort of stuff. People don't know me for this kind of behavior. What would my family think? All that was quite normal. And of course, I'm actually surrounded by people who know far more about this stuff than I do, and are able to accept what I do, and give me feedback on the quality of the practice. So I totally understand that this may feel very, very weird. It doesn't mean you have to be weird. If you wear a faded Black Sabbath t-shirt, wear your hair long, and hang out smoking little rolly cigarettes because you're a weird man, because you're exploring the darkness in yourself, good luck. See you in the next video.